Good afternoon, everyone. I am currently on my way up to the Blue Ridge foothills of North Georgia to do some road cruising for some snakes. It's really good conditions for vipers to be moving tonight. It's really hot, really humid out here actually. It was a high of about 91 degrees today, and it's going to cool off really slowly, which will be good. Should have a nice long window for a nice long window of opportunity for movement. So yeah, I'm going to make my way up to the Blue Ridge foothills, and we will see what all we can find tonight. And the first snake of the night is this really good looking little red-bellied snake here. These snakes are similar to DeKay's brown snakes, but they are a bit more secretive. They can either be black or this really light tan to brown coloration like this one is. As you can see, they get their name because they have really nice red bellies. This one's a little bit thin, but really the average length that you see them. I have actually had horrible luck with these snakes over the years, and I think this is the first one I've seen in at least 3 or 4 years. They always gave me a really hard time in Tennessee, but in some areas of the southeast they can be pretty abundant. Really weird snakes. Not a whole lot is known about their exact habitat requirements, but usually where they do occur, they're pretty abundant, but there's a few areas where you get low numbers of them. This is a really good looking red-bellied snake here, so I'm going to get good pictures of it. Like DeKay's brown snakes, these snakes spend a lot of time underground, and unlike most other colubrids, they actually don't lay eggs, they give live birth. So pretty cool little snakes. But anyway, I'm going to move this little guy off the road and get some good pictures of it, because it's the first red-bellied I've seen in a good while, and we will see what else we can find. And the second snake of the night is this really big female eastern worm snake. Really nice looking one here, just making its way across the road. I have found quite a few of these this year. If you guys have been following my videos, I'm sure you've seen quite a few that I've found under rocks. But this is actually the first one that I have road cruised this year, so I'm sure it will be the first of many. But always good to see out here. Numbers of fossorial species and common stuff like this is what passes the time out here. When you're not getting anything at all, even if you get 1 or 2 rare snakes a night, it can be brutal. So really cool to see. Kind of has a whitish belly, has a little bit of pink on it, but not a bad looking worm snake. But I'm just going to move her off the road here in the direction that she was heading and keep on cruising, and we'll see if we can find some other snakes tonight. Well, this is heartbreaking. Let's take a closer look here and see if this is what I think it is. Shut up, dog. Yep, it sure is. I normally don't like showing stuff like this, but I kind of feel like I need to from an educational standpoint. This is one of the main snakes that I was hoping to see tonight here in the Blue Ridge foothills, and it is stretched out here, flattened right in front of me. This is a canebrake or lowland timber rattlesnake, whichever you would prefer to call it, and obviously somebody has smashed it here in the road, and that is uncalled for. Other than habitat loss, road mortality is one of the biggest threats to reptiles. If just on a road like this, it's insane how many snakes get hit each season. I'm sure this is not the first timber that has been ran over here. But anyway, point being, if you guys are on a back road, you know, pay attention to the road, go slow, don't just rip through and run things over, because it's what a lot of people do, and this snake did not deserve to die like this. As you can see, it's a pretty big one too. But anyway, really heartbreaking. I wish I could have found it alive and helped it off the road. But I'm going to hit this road hard and see if I can find a live one. So we'll see what we can do. So it is now around midnight, and it has been a minute since I've seen any snakes. Unfortunately, somebody beat me to that timber rattlesnake and ran it over. Otherwise, it off the road safely, and we would have had a nice, big, beautiful rattlesnake in this video. But that's just how it goes sometimes. This is one of the hardest parts of road cruising. You see a lot of dead animals, and sometimes there's some really heartbreaking ones like that one back there. But anyway, I have to get up for work in about 6 hours, and I have an hour drive home, so I feel like it's a good time to call it a night here. But the good news is I will be heading back out tomorrow night to do some road cruising in a new region and give it another go. So hopefully we will see some more snakes tomorrow night, and they will be alive. So anyway, I'm going to go home and get some sleep, and I will see you guys after work tomorrow. Good afternoon, everyone. It has been a couple of nights since you guys last seen me, and I am currently on my way up to the Ridge and Valley Mountains of northwestern Georgia, a little bit north of where I was in the previous clips. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some night cruising and giving it another shot tonight. It's really good weather for a lot of snakes to be moving. Hopefully we will get some good viper movement, but I will take anything I can get. There is a good mix of coastal plain and montane species where I'm going to be cruising, so hopefully we will get a little bit of everything. But yeah, I'm going to knock out the remainder of this drive, and we will see what all we can find tonight. And the first snake of the evening here in the Ridge and Valley of northwestern Georgia is this nice looking gray rat snake. Really clean pattern on this snake. Just a nice medium-sized individual, but if you look closely, it has that nice brown coloration on the side. You don't see that too many of those. A lot of the rats here have some really nice patterning on them. This is just a super good looking one. But anyway, good start to the night. It's still like 90 degrees out here, and as you guys can see, it's not even dark yet, and snakes are moving. I was not expecting to get anything this early, so good to see that the rat snakes are out. Hopefully there will be more. We'd love to see some montane corn snakes tonight as well, but for the most part we are chasing bigger game. So anyway, really good looking rat snake, one of the nicest ones I've seen in a while. I'm just going to let it get off the road here. Hopefully it will stay away from roads and vehicles and make its way into this habitat here and live a long, successful life. All right here we have a northern scarlet snake, and we are in the Ridge and Valley of northwestern Georgia here. These snakes are pretty common in the coastal plain, much like the scarlet king snake. But here in the Appalachian Mountains, they are a true rarity. And as you can see here, this snake has a solid white belly. That is one of the easiest ways you can tell these apart from scarlet king snakes, which have more of a black and white kind of domino pattern on their belly. These are beautiful little fossorial snakes. They primarily eat lizard eggs, and we are in late June right now. That is a good time for gravid lizards to be laying eggs. So good time of year for these to be out, but not an easy snake to find up here in the Ridge and Valley Mountains. Definitely one of the big targets tonight, and this one is just so pretty. Check out that pattern, really vibrant looking. Not the biggest scarlet snake I've ever seen, but hey, I'll take it. But anyway, I'm just going to move this little snake off the road here, and we will get a closer look. Good afternoon, everyone. It is now the following night, and that little northern scarlet snake in my previous clip was the final snake of last night. But what a good one it was. I really could not ask for any better than that. So anyway, I'm out here tonight in a new one. As you can see, I'm in the mountains of northeastern Alabama, and I'm going to be targeting some more coastal plain species in the mountains. There's pygmy rattlesnakes here, scarlet king snakes, really just about anything you can want. So yeah, it's about to get dark now, so I'm going to hit this road really hard, and we will see what all we can find tonight. All right, 2 hours into the night, we have our first snake here. A nice looking little montane corn snake crossing the road here. It is about 11 p.m. now, and I'm surprised we're just now seeing snakes, but I'll take it. Hopefully there will be some more action tonight. It's still plenty warm enough for snakes to be moving. But anyway, not the best looking corn, but I always enjoy seeing these montane ones. As you can see, has the pretty typical montane pattern here, especially on the tail. Not a bad looking little corn snake. But yeah, I'm actually at a pretty high elevation here for northeastern Alabama anyway, so cool to see. I wasn't sure what the corns looked like up here, but I assumed they were still the typical montane ones. As you can see, the spots and blotches near the tail are actually smaller in these, and they have that nice grayish brown coloration. But anyway, this corn is biting me here. I'm going to move this good looking little corn snake out of the road here and keep on cruising, and we will see what else we can find tonight. And right here we have corn snake number 2 for the night. Seems that the corns are out in full force, and this one is gorgeous. Would you just look at it? Quite a bit bigger and healthier than the last one. Just a much lighter pattern. Appears to be fresh out of shed. For a montane corn snake, this is actually really bright orange. As you can see, it still has this nice grayish brown coloration back here. This is one of the nicer corns I have seen in a while. I don't know if it tops the pretty one I got up in Tennessee back in April, but this one is just super nice. Honestly, much prettier than I expected the larger corns to be up here. So yeah, I'm going to take some time to get some good pictures of this corn snake, because I mean, just look at it. Doesn't get much better than that. And yeah, I'm going to move it off the road here in the direction it is heading and keep on cruising, and we'll see if we can find some more of these or something else. Right, here's a closer look at this incredible looking corn snake now that I have moved it off the road here. It's wanting to climb here in this vegetation, but not really high enough for that. So anyway, yeah, really good looking corn snake. Honestly, better than I was expecting up here, so can't go wrong with that. But it's prime time now, and snakes are obviously moving, so I'm going to hit the road and we will see what we can do tonight. All right, first copperhead of the night, just making its way off the road here. Really good to see. Normally, I'm sick of these snakes by now because they're all I see on the roads, but this year has been a tough year for vipers, at least night cruising wise. It's been either too dry or really cool and wet, or the temperatures have just been dropping too fast for these to be moving. So always nice to see a good looking copperhead. I'm surprised this is the first one we've seen tonight, but not sure what's going on here. I'd like to see some timber rattlesnakes or pygmy rattlesnakes, but I'll take an Agkistrodon. But yeah, nice eastern copperhead, really light tan colored one. These nice light ones are my favorite, and there it goes. Right, here's a closer look at this gorgeous little copperhead now that it is off the road and out of harm's way here. It's posing quite nicely for me, so I'm going to take some good photos of it and then let it continue on its way and keep on cruising, and we will see what else we can find tonight. And right here we have copperhead number 2 for the night. This one's a bit smaller and not quite as attractive as that last one. But yeah, it appears the vipers are finally moving in numbers. Hopefully this will be the first of a few tonight, because again, I haven't been seeing very many. Always cool to see them out here doing what they do. Really good habitat for them here in the mountains. But anyway, I'm going to escort this little guy out of the road here. Come on, little buddy. Stay away from roads and vehicles. Alright, we're going to keep cruising and see what else we can find. Good morning, everyone. It has been a few days since you guys last seen me, and the night cruising is still pretty slow, so I'm up here enjoying some cooler weather in the high elevations of the Blue Ridge Mountains. And I'm right here at this nice wet rock wall, and I'm going to be doing some salamandering today. So I'm going to work this wall here and then work my way up into some nice high elevation upland habitat, and we will see what we can find today. All right, I'm going to try to get some flip clips here because there's usually some mountain duskies. Oh my goodness. A Yanalasi under the first rock. And it's kind of down in this seep here. This is a Yanalasi salamander, and it's one of the main things I came up here to see today. As you can see, it has a big red stripe. I'm trying to get it in hand here. I'd have to take a second to do that. And right here is a closer look at this big, fat Yanalasi salamander that I just flipped here at the base of a dripping rock wall. Now, Yanalasi salamanders are good climbers, and they love rock crevices, even if those crevices are subterranean in rock beds. They love their crevices. But this is actually the first one I have found at this rock formation here. And it's really the first one I've found at a rock that is this wet, this kind of dripping water. Normally I just get Carolina mountain dusky salamanders here at this rock. But anyway, Yanalasi salamanders are the Cadillacs of the Plethodon world. As you can see, they look really similar to slimy salamanders, but one of the main things that sets them apart is their size, and this one is not quite as big as they can be, but it's a pretty hefty one. And the thing that sets all of them apart is this beautiful red stripe down their back. They almost look like someone has painted them red. Because as you can see underneath and on their side, it's much like a slimy salamander. But anyway, nice big chunky Yanalasi salamander. These are often associated with talus rock. They love these higher elevations here in the Blue Ridge. They can be found down into some lower elevations, but you're typically not going to see them under 2,000 feet. And we're actually standing at just below 5,000 feet here. So this is on the upper end of how high they can be found in the Blue Ridge Mountains. As you can see, solid black ventral, nice white speckles on the side, and that beautiful red stripe going down the back. Really can't get any better than that for the first rock, so I'm going to take some good photos of this Yanalasi salamander because it's the first one I've found in quite a while, and keep on flipping these rocks and working this habitat, and we will see what else we can find. And right here we have Yanalasi salamander number 2. I didn't get the flip clip on this one because I was not expecting to find another one here at the base of this dripping rock wall, but for whatever reason they're hanging out here. And there's not a lot of water pulled up under these rocks, but it's enough to where I wouldn't expect Plethodon to be hanging out under there. So not sure what they're doing here, but again, Yanalasi salamanders are excellent climbers and they love rock formations just like this. Typically they are associated with drier rock formations though. Really it's better to get out and look for these at night, and I was a little worried that we wouldn't see any today because flipping them can be hit or miss, but I've already found my big target here just right off the road. So this one is posing really nicely, and I'm going to get some good photos of it and keep on working this rock formation here, and we will see what else we can find today. Alright, next salamander of the day is this nice adult Carolina mountain dusky salamander here. And these are from the mountain dusky complex. They can be a variety of patterns and color variations. This one is kind of dull here, but still a really good looking salamander. Has a nice jagged stripe on it. I think it just dove back into a rock crevice. But anyway, these are the salamanders that I typically find in these wet, trickling rock walls like what we're at right here. And in these areas, they're actually really good climbers, and they love living in these wet rock crevices. But again, not really where I would expect to see Yanalasi salamanders, but great habitat for the Carolina mountain duskies. So anyway, that salamander jumped back in its crevice. I'm going to keep working this here, and we'll see if we can find some more. And right here we have Yanalasi salamander number 3 for the day. This is as flipped. It has a nice little crevice here between these two logs. Really good looking little juvenile. Really, June and July is the season for these salamanders, if you can time it around rains, even if you're not out at night. If you flip for them directly after a rain, they can be pretty easy to find compared to other times of the year. Obviously in the lower elevations the season is a bit earlier, but up here high they really don't get going until June or July. So yeah, another nice little juvenile Yanalasi salamander. I'm just going to put this log back here because luckily it is in a position where I won't have to squish it if I put this back, and I'm going to keep working this habitat and see if I can find some more Uanalossies or something else. And under this next rock right here, we have a northern gray-cheeked salamander. And these are typically the most common plethodon up here, and I normally find them way before I start finding Uanalossie salamanders. But these are really common where they do occur, but they are high elevation specialists, so pretty cool. They're from the Jordani complex, really similar to the other gray-cheeked salamanders, as well as red-cheeked and red-legged salamanders. You really only see them in these high elevations where they start to outnumber all the other plethodon and Desmognathus. These are kind of like redback salamanders are up north, but they're the high elevation equivalent here in the Blue Ridge Mountains. They reach really high numbers, and obviously these are much more abundant than the Whalers and Uanalossie salamanders here. But anyway, nice little plump northern gray-cheeked salamander. I'm just going to take some photos of it here and keep on working this habitat, and we will see what else we can find. And under this next log here, I just flipped my other big target up here, and this is the Whaler salamander. Now these are true high elevation specialists. They are almost entirely found in spruce fir forest, or at least mixed hardwood and spruce fir forest. And as you can see, they have this beautiful golden coloration. They're short, small-bodied, but kind of stocky for their size salamanders. And they require really cold climates and areas that are almost wet year-round. And here in the southeastern United States, the only place you see those areas are these high-elevation mountaintops that are at least over 4,000 feet. Typically, you don't see these salamanders associated with mountains that are below 5,000 feet. So really cool salamanders. They only occur on a few specific high elevation mountaintops in northeastern Tennessee, southwestern Virginia, and western North Carolina. So awesome to see. This is actually a big adult for this species, so I don't think I could have found a nicer one. So these salamanders are one of several species that are at immediate risk due to climate change, because if the temperatures change very much at all on these high elevation mountaintops, in these spruce fir forests where they live, you're not going to have a spruce fir forest. It's going to become hotter and drier, become more hardwood dominated, and become much more like the lowlands. So without these high elevation habitat islands, we could not have Whaler salamanders. So if temperatures rise and we lose the spruce fir forest, we lose the Whaler salamander, and that would be a real shame. So these are one example of many species that are locally abundant, but could easily be lost if any little thing changed here in the high elevations where they occur. So really healthy, chunky adult Whaler salamander, one of the nicest ones I've ever found. I'm just going to put it back under its log here, and we will keep on flipping and see what else we can find today. And right here we have more Whaler salamanders. These two were found together under a tiny log here. This one is curled up much like the last one. Really beautiful gold coloration on that. And right here we have another one. The Whaler salamanders up here are really pretty. There's really not a lot of black in their patterns, and they're super beautiful. When you leave them sitting like this, you can really see that coloration standing out here amongst the forest floor. But yeah, I'm just going to leave these here underneath their log and keep on working this habitat, and we'll see what else we can find. And right here under this rock by this old campfire spot here, we have a nice big northern gray-cheeked salamander. This is about as big as these get up here, the northern gray-cheeks anyway. Plethodon montanus are typically not that big. Once you get into the Blue Ridge gray-cheeks and South Mountain gray-cheeks, they can be significantly larger than this. These northern gray-cheeked salamanders up here are also really dark. Some of them don't have much gray on their cheeks. They're actually almost melanistic looking. whereas in other parts of the range, they're more of a lighter silver coloration, and they live up to their name a bit more with the lighter gray cheeks. I used to think it was an elevation thing, but I have actually seen these darker ones in the lowlands surrounding this mountain and other nearby regions as well. So not sure what's going on, but really good looking northern gray cheek salamander here. I'm going to get some photos of it because it's a really nice one, and keep on working this spruce fir habitat here, and we will see what else we can find. So I just moved out of the spruce fir forest and down into this little high elevation clearing here. Right here we have a beautiful yellow-faced timber rattlesnake. Unfortunately, it just buzzed me and went back under this rock here. Now it's only about 60 degrees out here right now, so definitely still basking temperature for these. But anyway, unfortunately I took a dive there, but I'm going to leave it under this piece of concrete here and keep on walking this perimeter, and we will see what else we can find today. Good morning, everyone. Today I'm coming to you from the high elevations of the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's a really hot, cloudy morning today, and I'm getting ready to do some hiking for some montane timber rattlesnakes. It's a high of about 90 in the lowlands, which would really be too hot. But up here in the highlands where I am today, it's only going to get into the mid-70s. So we have some really good cloud cover, which should make for some good dappled sunlight. Really the best basking conditions I could have asked for today. So I'm going to make my way up this mountain here, and we will see how many snakes we can find. Well, that didn't take long at all. First snake of the day is this big black-faced timber rattlesnake here basking in the grass in this high elevation clearing. It's only 66 degrees up here right now. As you can see, I am roadside right now, did not have to hike very far at all, and I have not even hit all of the spots that I planned on hitting today. But this timber is getting spooked here, so I'm going to give him some space and go grab my camera, and we will get a closer look. Alright, I just climbed on top of this rock here and snuck up on this black-faced timber rattlesnake. But as you can see, his head is up, he sees me, he's just curious. But yeah, really large black-faced timber rattlesnake. The timbers up here in these high elevations actually grow really slowly, so one this size could be a really old snake. If you look closely, he has some gnarly old injury going on his tail here. Appears to be an old wound, maybe not even that old because it's still kind of open. Not sure what's going on there, but yeah, these montane timbers up here are so beautiful. They can be anywhere from really dark like this guy here to a lemon yellow. There's even some brown ones and some gray ones. Really awesome to see them up here at the really the limit of the elevation they can handle. I guess you could find them a few hundred feet higher than this, but not a whole lot more. But anyway, I'm going to get some camera shots of this snake and keep on hiking, and we will see if we can find some more timbers today. So normally I try to avoid messing with these snakes too much unless I absolutely have to, or to move them out of harm's way. But I was a little bit concerned about the wound on this guy, and sure enough, it is not an old wound. It appears to be somewhat fresh actually, and I'm afraid that this could potentially be a bullet wound where somebody has tried to shoot this snake. Where this snake was here at the beginning of this trail, somebody could have easily found it and shot it. Luckily, it appears to be doing okay. It is a bit sluggish and actually hasn't rattled at me since I moved it out to take a look. But that's a gnarly wound right there. At least it isn't dead, but stuff like this is really unfortunate to see because these snakes, they don't want to harm anybody. They go out of their way to avoid people. And shooting an animal like this that already has a rough life up here at these elevations is just wrong in so many ways. I could go on all day about that, but anyway, unfortunate to see the injury, but these snakes are tough, so hopefully this guy will make it. But I'm just going to take some photos of him here while he is posing really nicely for me and move him back to the edge of his rock where I found him, and we will see what else we can find today. All right, next snake of the day is this kind of rusty brown, almost a tan, little montane eastern garter snake here. This little snake was just coming out to bask. We've had a bit more cloud cover than I was expecting today. I knew it would be cloudy, but it's almost completely overcast here. So it's been heating up a little slower than expected, and snakes are just coming out to bask, so hopefully there's still time to get plenty of timbers today. But yeah, always fun seeing these eastern garter snakes up here. These snakes are one of the most cold tolerant snakes in the world, and they range really far north, way up through Canada and all of that. They can handle really cold temperatures, and in those areas where it's that cold, they have really short seasons. So that is why they thrive in these high elevations like what we are in up here. They do really well and reach large numbers. They're actually one of the few snakes that you will see up here this high, other than the timber rattlesnakes that we're targeting today. But anyway, really nice looking eastern garter snake. I'm just going to put it back, let it crawl under this slab right here, and we will see what else we can find today. Third snake of the day is this vibrant little northern ringneck snake here. I actually just flipped it underneath this rock. In most normal places, July is way too late in the year to be rock flipping in the middle of the day. But again, up here in these high elevations, it's kind of like mid to late spring year-round up here, temperature-wise. So, still cool enough to be finding snakes under cover. But anyway, I'm just going to put this nice-looking little ringneck back under its rock here and keep on hiking, and we will see what else we can find today. Good afternoon, everyone. It has been a few hours since you guys last seen me, and it was a pretty slow day in the high elevations, but I'm not complaining. I'm happy with the one timber rattlesnake that we did see. It was a really nice one. Actually, my first montane timber of 2021, so good times up there. But anyway, I am now in the low elevations here in the Ridge and Valley Appalachians, and I'm going to do some night cruising in the sandstone capped mountains here in the Ridge and Valley. These are low elevation, sandstone dominated mountains, so you get a lot of soil that's basically pure white sand. A lot of mixed pine and hardwood, some kind of xeric open areas. So there's kind of a good mix of montane species here and a few coastal plain species that you would not expect to see up here. So that's really what I'm hoping for tonight, but it's going to be a long shot, so I will take anything I can get, even another timber rattlesnake perhaps. They are here as well. They look a bit different than the ones that are in the Blue Ridge Mountains where we were earlier. But anyway, there's potential for a lot here tonight, so I'm going to hit this road really hard, and we will see what we can turn up. All right, snakes are moving tonight. First snake of the night is this nice little eastern garter snake. Significantly lighter, kind of more cream color than that one we seen up in the Blue Ridge Mountains earlier. Really nice looking little garter. Glad we're getting to see the difference between the low elevation and high elevation garters here. But I feel like somebody's probably going to come around the corner here any minute, so I'm going to move this little snake off the road really quickly and keep on cruising, and we will see if we can find some bigger game tonight. All right, right here we have a nice little adult smooth earth snake crossing the road here. I actually just moved it out of the road because it was trying to cross a very high traffic road here. The cars have been zipping up and down through here all night. Yeah, smooth earth snakes are actually pretty hard to find here in northeastern Tennessee, but they are common throughout most of their range. Where they do occur in northeastern Tennessee, they reach pretty good numbers, like here in the sandstone capped mountains in the Appalachian Ridge and Valley. They love these nice dry ridges. There's a lot of loose soil for them to burrow in, lots of rocks. Really perfect habitat for them. These snakes do not lay eggs. They actually give live birth, much like red-bellied snakes and DeKay's brown snakes. So they're pretty unique among colubrids. But anyway, I'm just going to help this little smooth earth snake off the road here, and we will see what else we can find tonight. And the next snake of the night is this really good looking eastern copperhead here. And if you listen in the background, there's a loud American bullfrog calling. 2 in 1. But anyway, I haven't seen a copperhead up here in Tennessee in a good minute, so pretty cool. Up here I would call this a northern copperhead by old taxonomy, but under the new taxonomy, these are easterns. Nice, chunky, pretty good looking one. Really cool to see. These are the most common of the two pit vipers here in the Ridge and Valley Appalachians, especially in these lower elevations down here in this area where I am. But there are timber rattlesnakes in the mix here as well. And it's unique because they actually behave kind of like the lowland or canebrake rattlesnakes. But we'll talk about that if we find one. But anyway, gorgeous eastern copperhead here. I'm going to take some time to get some good photos of this snake and keep on cruising, and we will see what else we can find. So it is now the following day, and I just made it back down to North Georgia. I did not find any other snakes last night, but it was still a pretty productive little cruise nonetheless. That really big fat female copperhead that I found crossing a road near a wetland, that was a pretty cool find. Really enjoyed seeing her. I hadn't found any copperheads up that way in a while, so that was fun. And there was also some good finds earlier in this video. But all in all, I had a really productive getaway up to the mountains. Had a really good time. But yeah, I'm back in Georgia now, so weather permitting, I'm going to be heading out in just a few days to do some road cruising after work and see if I can turn up some rare snakes. But for now, I feel like we are at a great place to end this video here. So like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Do all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.